Well, I mean, it's a shame, how the news media puts me out there like I'm homeless or something. You know, I just told them, I don't speak that language anymore. I don't speak English. You know, they got to get they got to get with the rest of the world. I mean, the rest of the world is making cryptocurrency. And I know it's RoboCop money, but I don't speak English anymore. I speak in code now. I'm like one of them machines, like one of them robots. I got more money than the species. So when they printed that in their paper or whatever, I wasn't following it. I'm the wealthiest person in the world. My name ain't Kyle Shields, it's Ace Monroe. That situation didn't have nothing to do with me. But, they came after me acting like they know me and didn't even let me speak on the matter. And I paid the 75 or whatever $1,000 and got out, and I'm out now. But I didn't have anything to do with what happened, and so I don't understand how the media can just attack me like that and then say that I have something to do with it when I don't have nothing to do with it. I can't even tell you much about the situation because I got to speak to my attorney, before I can even get with you. But it don't make no sense, what the news media is saying and what the police is saying. I know they ain't on my side because I make more money than them, but I don't understand how they can use their authority, abuse their authority to attack people wealthier than them all damn day because they need resources, because they need financial help. So that's what that was to me, a cry for financial help. That's all that story was to me, you know. Well, I mean, it's the same thing, they use the press, they use the media, the police, the same sort of sources to promote this idea that they're the good guys or whatever, okay? But they not. My name ain't Kyle Shields, okay? Everything America is telling you is a lie. Everything the police is telling you is a lie. Everything the news media is telling you is a lie. And they come in here with an army of people, who ain't got no money, who ain't got no resources, who ain't telling you the truth, and they try to mob on you or something, they try to act like they the mob or something. But they not the mob to me neither. But I didn't have anything to do with the situation, but they came after me. And I paid the 75K, the 75,000 and got out of jail, And I'm a little pissed off, but like I said, man, anytime you're dealing with an abuse of power, like the news media or the police, people that are constantly abusing their power and constantly making themselves look like, they're telling you the truth when they don't even know anything, like the judge, when you go to a court and the judge wasn't there and the judge is trying to evaluate the situation, same with the attorneys, I mean, they all crooks to me. The judge is a crook, the attorneys are crooks, the media is crooks, the police are crooks, they wasn't even there. They don't even know what happened half the time. And they're always trying to make it seem as if they're the good guys and that they should be able to speak on the matter, and it don't make no sense, man, and I know that their judicial system, their courtroom or whatever, there's never anybody in court or anything because they basically, they live an artificial life. most of the Americans, they live an artificial life, and so they can't attack me with something that's artificial, period, because, you know, I'm not really living that life, you know. They live in an artificial life to me, but my name ain't Cal Shields, it's Ace Monroe. I'm the creator of the universes. You can look me up online. I'm the most famous person alive, Ace Monroe with a W. And ain't nobody even caring about what the news is talking about. And I ain't either, because I know they want financial help. They want a story. They want to print something in a newspaper. They want to act like what they're saying is legitimate when too many people around the world, they ain't following these people. They ain't listening to these people, and I'm one of them. They in business to make money. And if they trying to make money off me, I'm going to let them know straight up. Your story is not politically correct. What you saying is not true. I ain't no homeless person. I just didn't care about giving the police my information because I don't need an army of people like America hunting me down and tracking me down financially every day and trying to get inside my head and trying to get inside my thoughts and tracing in my thoughts and trying to pry information from me, because America's in debt, and them jokers was basically told to leave my universe, man. Leave my universe alone, man. I ain't no homeless person, man. You people see things the wrong way. Y'all the ones homeless. Y'all the ones that need to get out of my house, not the other way around. And it's funny to me how they try to use people as their strength, but I got the whole universe as my strength, and so we'll see who wins, man. I got the whole universe in my corner. You ain't converting my universe to getting on your side or nothing, man. You people been lying and been telling crazy stories for too damn long, and you've been deceiving me financially for too damn long. Like I said, my name is Ace Monroe, not Cal Shields. I'm on the $1 bill, the $5 bill, the $10 bill, the $10,000 bill, the $100,000 bill, the cryptocurrency. I'm the dude with all the money around here, man, not America, not the news media. This is my house. It's bought and paid for. You can go watch my film, Universal Phone. You can see it for yourself. That the news media, NASA, just America, period, this whole nation is lying to you about everything because that's what they have to do because they're in debt. They use psychology to make it seem as if they're the good guys or something. But they're not. They're not good at anything, I'm the most famous person alive. You never seen a magazine or an article or anything about me, that was legitimate to where I got to talk and they didn't get to talk. Because if the article's about me, then I should be talking, not the news or the media or whoever is speaking for me. That don't make no sense, and so that's an abuse of power right there. They need to speak for themselves and not for me. But you see it all the time, on TV. They don't let the other person talk, and that's an abuse of power. They try to make it seem like they know what happened, like they were there or something, and they didn't. They don't have a clue about what really happened. And so, anytime you read something like that in the paper or whatever, you always got to be careful because 9 times out of 10, they ain't got their facts straight. Like I said, my name ain't Cal Shields. You know, they didn't put my face there or nothing like that, and that's good. But the article was completely fake. You know, like I said, my name's Ace Monroe. You know, I just wasn't giving the police my information because I know they're attacking me financially, and so is the media. But I'll talk to you later. I mean, you got to understand that, you know, I hope they got their facts straight. I hope they got their story straight because my name ain't Kyle Shields. First off, my name is Ace Monroe. I'm the wealthiest person alive. I'm the most famous person alive. You know, anytime the news, the police, even America, you know, they start talking or whatever, you know, just know that they're in debt to the Federal Reserve, $65 trillion in debt. And until they pay their debt, I don't want them talking to me because I'm the wealthiest person alive. And they can quit trying to toss their debt to me because legally that ain't going to work because legally they're all dead. You know, legally they weren't made by God. So they need to quit acting like they the people of God or whatever. You know, I hope they got their facts straight. You know, I hope they got their stories straight or whatever. They're trying to pin on me because basically everything they're saying is a lie. You know, my name ain't Kyle Shields. It's Ace Monroe. I'm the creator of universes. I'm the creator of universes and beyond. Okay. I have phones bigger than planet Earth. Okay. I'm the wealthiest person alive. Do you understand? So understand that these people are preaching falsehood, and they've been preaching falsehood, and they've been living inside of my television set, and they're being told what to do by outside sources all damn day. You know, and they work for a few corporations, and I find out who they are, and they're the ones that give them the money to print these fake stories and this fake news that you see on your TV, which all of it is, for the most part, as I've seen, it's fake, it's false, and it's horrible. Even the president, Donald Trump, has come out and said, you know, the media is completely fake. Okay, I ain't no homeless person. Okay, I'm on the $1 bill, the $5 bill, the $10 bill, the $10,000 bill, the $100,000 bill, okay, the Wilsons and beyond. I'm the wealthiest person on the planet. I'm the only person walking around with banknotes other than the Queen Elizabeth or whoever who's trying to aid my situation. These are poor people attacking me. Okay, America is a poor nation to me. Okay, they don't have no business talking about me, period. I'm the creator of universes. They don't have the resources to be talking to somebody like me. For them to talk about me, it's no different than a homeless person or somebody that picks up trash all day trying to talk to me. Okay, and that's what America represents to me. Okay, so they don't need to be talking to me. Okay, and they're using this nation to attack me financially, and I'm aware of that. But understand, I got the whole universe backing me up. Okay, all they have is a bunch of people who represent falsehood, who weren't made by God, who ain't perfect. Okay, who are living in my universe when they were told to leave my universe for those reasons alone. Okay, they're not the good guys. You know, they paint these pictures and tell these stories or whatever with no evidence or whatever, trying to make themselves look like the good guys. Okay, they're not the good guys. This isn't their house. They have no authority here. Okay? But you better believe that they're going to give themselves authority that didn't come from God, that didn't come from me, that didn't come from really nobody but people like them.